Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Trucking Life with Sean. Today's video, I'm going to talk to you about drivers that can't get miles. Why? What's happening? We're going to dive into it. We're going to get into root causes of drivers, how to get the miles, and why you're not getting the miles, and let me know in the comments what you think. But first off, I need to let you know that Trucking Life with Sean is now sponsored by Connect Now. Connect Now makes Bluetooth headsets. They make everything you need and nothing that you don't. So if you're looking for a good Bluetooth headset, please go to the link in the bottom of the description. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. It's Trucking Life with Sean. Let's get into it. There we go. Good morning, Friday morning. Good morning, truck drivers. Hope everybody's doing well out there. If you're new to my channel, my name is Sean. I am a truck driver trainer, and I train drivers, and I also have a YouTube video. So if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, I have a YouTube channel also where I put out long content trying to help drivers succeed. This morning, I'm on my way into work. Me and my personal car. On my way in today, got orientation. I'm going to work with drivers, but today I want to talk to you about something that's on everybody's mind. Whether you're a new driver or whether you're an experienced driver, I want to talk to you this morning on the importance of getting miles. A lot of drivers have called me and they struggle with getting miles, and I want to dive into it this morning and try to go into the root causes of not getting miles. And there's a lot of reasons why you may not be getting your miles. Whether you work at Rosedale Transport, where I work at, or not, if you're not getting your miles, I'm more than happy to talk with you. I'm more than happy to coach you and try to help you out. Especially if you work for the company I work for, give me a call. That's my job. I am a driver trainer, and my job is to help you succeed. So I want to dive in this morning and see what it is that's causing you to fall short of your miles. Now, the economy has a lot to do with it. Freight can have a lot to do with it. Dispatchers can have a lot to do with it. But let's look at things that we can control as drivers and what we can do better to make sure that we're utilizing all our tools in our system to get the miles. Now, we both know that if we're out here spending the time, if we're not getting our miles, we're not making no money. And what's the purpose of driving a truck and being away from your family if you're not getting your miles? So that's what I want to talk to you about this morning. Is I want to talk to you about the root causes of it, and let's see if we can figure it out. All right, so I'm going to go through a few different things here on what can cause you to not get miles. Now, again, there's a lot of reasons why this might not be in your control, but let's just talk about all of them. All right, so the first thing this morning is pre-trips and post-trips. Are you doing your pre-trip and post-trip? You say, Sean, you know, I'm doing that. I'm doing the best I can, but things keep happening. Pre-trips and post-trips will also help you in your mileage. When you're out there and you're rolling, you just jump in a truck and you take off. You go down the road and you have a blowout. You're stuck on the right side of the road for 3 or 4 hours, maybe even longer. If you're airing your tires up and you're making sure that your tires are good, this is going to help you down the road. It's going to help you down the road to make sure that you don't have the blowout. I had a guy call me the other day, and he said he had a blowout, and he was stuck on the side of the road for about 7 hours. He was out in the middle of nowhere, and that all could have been avoided. Maybe, maybe not. You know, things happen. Stuff don't break till it breaks. But a good practice is to make sure that you're airing your tires up. You say, well, Sean, I didn't have no way to air my tires up this morning. Well, you should have a Chicago line. You can get it for about $35 at Love's Truck Stop. You can air your own tires up. So making sure that your tires are properly inflated, that's going to go, and that's going to cut down some downtime. Now, this is just part of it. There's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about this morning, but you know, making sure your tires are properly inflated, making sure that your air lines are not dragging, making sure that your brakes are in good condition, making sure that your antifreeze is topped off, your oil has been changed, your oil is full, Making sure if you see your belt that's worn or torn, you may want to get that fixed. You're missing some bolts, or something's a little bit loose. You want to make sure you get these things fixed, because having a breakdown on the side of the road is the last thing that you want to do. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to that, and then you're making sure that all your equipment is ready. Okay, that's one thing that you can control. Another thing that you cannot control is if you do have breakdowns, some things you just can't control about it. But doing your pre-trips and post-trips, that's going to help you out in a long way. That's going to get you started, and that's going to help you keep from breaking down. And the next thing that I've noticed that where people are not getting their miles is not utilizing their hours of service. So let's talk about that for a minute. Your hours of service, you have so many hours you can drive a day. We're allowed to drive 11 a day. We're allowed to do 14 total on the clock, and y'all truck drivers know what I'm talking about. Again, if you don't have the runs, you can't do it. I get that, and we're going to get to that point, but let's think about things that we can control here. Okay, after my 10-hour break's up, I'm hitting the road and I'm rolling. I am not stopping at every truck stop along the way. When I first in my career, I used to do that, and you know what? If your door is closed, you're going to get more miles. Keeping that door closed. Keeping it and just going and getting as much as you can get, as far as you can get. Even if you only have a 400-mile run today, I'm going to knock this thing out. I'm going to knock it out as much as I can. If it's a 500-mile run, if it's a 600-mile run, I'm going to get it while I can. Some drivers like working on recaps, and that's fine. But my thing with recaps is, you may have a 600-mile run today. If you've got it, go ahead and get it done. Because tomorrow you might only have a 300-mile run. So if I've got the miles on the table, I'm going to get them as long as my hours of service allow them. As long as I'm not fatigued, I'm going to get that. So I'm going to use my hours of service to the best of my ability. When it's time to do my 30-minute break, I'm usually pulling over at a truck stop, and that's usually where I'm going to get my shower in. Then I might be off duty for an hour that time, but I'm not going to do a 30-minute break here, then another hour and a half to take a shower. I'm going to try to utilize that and put it all together. And that's what you need to do. Your own duty for 30 minutes also counts as your break. You know that, right? So you can get fuel on duty. If it takes 30 minutes to get to that fuel line, that knocks out your 30-minute break. So those things there will also help you getting your miles. Going as far as you can. All right, now I realize that parking is a major problem. So are you utilizing your shippers and your receivers? Are you calling them to find out if you can sleep there? A lot of drivers don't think about that. They try to get the best truck stop and get in there early. But if you can make it to the shipper and you can stay there, then stay there. Well, Sean, I want to be able to get a good dinner tonight, or I want to make sure I've got breakfast somewhere to eat in the morning. I get sick if I don't eat in the morning, or I want to have my beer on some coffee. Okay, think about these things. Get you a coffee. It's 2024. You can have your own coffee maker in your truck. You can have your own air fryer in your truck, your own microwave. You've got a refrigerator. Stop ahead of time and buy these things that you have, so that way you don't need nothing. You want to make sure that you can be in a situation where you don't need anything, anybody or anything. So no matter where you park at, it doesn't have to be the finest of the areas. Well, Sean, what if I've got to use the bathroom? Okay, well, there's a limit to that too. As a guy, I have a bucket. 5-gallon bucket with a toilet seat on it and a garbage bag in it. And if I've got to do the doo-doo, and now I use it. Tie it up, throw it away. Don't throw it out the window, but go ahead and throw it away. And I found, like last year when I was driving, when I was over the road last year, I only used my bucket 3 times. But just knowing that I had it made me feel a lot better, so I didn't have to worry about it. It seems like when you don't have a way to go, that's when you really got to go, right? But you're going to have these emergencies where you're going to have to use the bathroom, and that just happens. So you want to make sure you're prepared the best that you can be to be the best truck driver that you can be. I always kept Tylenol, Advil, any type of medicine, toothache medicine, anything that I needed. So if I needed, I wouldn't have to spend money in the truck stop, and that'll save you money also. But just having those things and being prepared will help you in your miles. So that if you have to sleep at that old rest area tonight that doesn't have a bathroom, you're okay. You've got your breakfast, you got your lunch, you got your dinner, you've got everything you need. So being a prepared driver is going to help you in the miles. just because you can utilize that shipper or that receiver if you can. Call them. Call out and do it. Next thing is going to be trip planning. Are you trip planning everything out? Just because your dispatcher says, hey, this is your load, you got to be there by 11. Have you looked to see if you can make it there by 11? Not sure, right? Well, you need to make sure by mapping it out yourself. Don't fall on the dispatcher to thinking that they know what they're saying. I hate to say that, but that is the truth. You need to map it out yourself and see if it's feasible. If it's feasible, get it done. If it's not, let them know. Because if they give you a run, okay, and this is all about communication. They give you a run that say it delivers at 5 o'clock this evening. You run the miles and you're not going to be there till 7 o'clock. You need to let them know, hey, listen, I'm going to be 2 hours late. Or if you hit traffic or if sometimes there's a breakdown, you let them know, because what if it's a shipper or receiver that has a strict deadline? You get there late, you didn't let dispatch know so they could rearrange it for you. Now you're sitting there to the next day waiting on it. Now, is it the dispatcher's fault or is it your fault? At the end of the day, you're the one suffering. You're the one that's not getting the miles or not getting paid, okay? So you've got to trip plan this stuff out and make sure this is something you can do. And if you can't, let them know. I mean, don't be argumentative with them, but let them know that, hey, I can't get this done. I need you to fix another time for me. Okay, and be honest, or if you know you can get it done. And then ask the right questions. Are you asking the right questions? Are you asking, hey, can I sleep there tonight? Can I park there? Do you know? They may say, I don't know. Well, then what's the phone number there? I'm going to call and find out. Or call Sean. Call me. Find out for me. You've been doing these runs. I've been doing these runs, these same runs for this company I work for a lot. You know, done them a lot of times. So you can find out. Call me. Call another driver. Are you walking around meeting other drivers at the company you're working for? The networking is a very good thing to do. So that's another thing that I want to talk to you about on making miles. And that's networking with drivers. When you see a driver, get their phone number. Ask them. Now, there's a lot of negative Nancys out there, so you don't want to get involved with those type of drivers that is, oh, the company's in it, or woe is me, or da, da, da. You want to avoid those like the plague. But find you a couple positive drivers. Find you some drivers that are getting miles. If you work for the company I'm working for, call me. I'll let you know who's getting the miles, and you can talk to them. Talk to me. And the company don't think that the company don't want you to get miles. No matter what company you're at, every company wants you to get miles because that's how they're in business for that. So communicating is huge. All right, if you're out there, and I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but you're not getting the miles, have you said anything to your dispatcher? Have you asked them for more miles, or have you just kept your mouth shut? Closed mouths don't get fed. I guarantee you, if you go into a company and you talk to the operations manager and you say, listen, can you pull my 10-week average? I'm not getting the miles. What am I doing different? They will help you. Okay, is it hours of service? Is it your trip planning? Is it you've had a bad look at trucks? Is it your dispatcher that's not planning you correctly? What are the things that are causing it? These are things that you need to be thinking. You need to be talking. You need to be asking questions. Don't feel afraid that you can't go and ask questions, because that's a problem. You've got to communicate with your dispatcher. You've got to communicate with the operations manager. You've got to communicate with other drivers. Find out what the deal is. What are you doing wrong? Another thing that drivers are not doing is they're not communicating, period. They get the load. Let's say you're going to Orlando, Florida. They take off, okay? They get down to Orlando, Florida, 6 o'clock. They still got 3 hours left on the clock, but they didn't talk to their dispatcher what the next load was, okay? I call it managing your dispatcher. Now they're sitting there waiting from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. They're taking a 14-hour break because they don't know where their next move is. Me, when I pick up my load, when I was driving, I'm going to Orlando. Hey, what you got next when I get down there? Am I going towards Savannah? Am I going to be going down toward Orlando? Which way am I going next? Oh, you're headed to Savannah, but we don't have the load information, but that's what... Okay, cool. So when I get down there at 6 o'clock, I still got 2 or 3 hours left. I can go ahead and make my way towards Savannah, take my 10. Now it's 9 o'clock at night. Now 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting there, and I'm waiting on my dispatcher getting to tell me what part. But I've already went that much further. Now, the dispatcher may say, I don't know, Sean. I don't know what we got. Just head that way. Okay. Well, I know my dispatcher leaves at 5 o'clock. I know he's gone at 5. So bet your bet at 3 o'clock, I'm calling him. Hey, man, did you find out anything yet? Do you know which way I'm going? Which way am I headed? Do you know which way am I supposed to go next? And again, he may say, I don't know yet. Okay, well, then that's not on you. You've done your part. You've sent a message in on Samsara. You've called your driver manager. You've called your dispatcher. And then you get there, and then that's not on you. Now, if that keeps happening, what are you going to do about it? You got to feed your family. Then that's when you got to go to somebody and say, listen, I need help. Like, I'm leaving hours on the table. Okay. Now, you could be a driver who's the opposite way, that lazy, and you leave hours on the table on purpose because you want to do that. And that's you. And a company eventually finds out that it's on you, they're going to let you go. But me, I'm going to be the best that I can be no matter what. You say, Sean, this economy's rough. Okay, even better. The economy's rough right now, okay? Then I'm going to be the best driver that I can be, so that way when the economy gets worse or whatever situation it gets, I want to be the last one to be let go. I want to have some value, so that way they're going to say, you know what, this guy gets it done. He's going to be the last one. Or if I have to go to another company, I want to make sure that I have a good referral. I don't want to be that lazy driver. I don't want to be the driver that don't know. Now, when you jump in a truck, do you know all these things? No. But you've got to ask, you've got to learn. You need to look on YouTube, listen to different people talk. Call me, I will help you. Message me. You can message me right here on Facebook and I will help you. So let's talk about hours of service for a minute, because I do believe that this is important. Hours of service. You got a load that's headed to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay, let's say we're going to Minneapolis. I'm just using this as a hypothetical load, all right? So y'all try to follow me on this. I appreciate it. We got somebody right here sitting there watching from Vietnam. Good morning, Vietnam, I guess. Might be evening over there. I don't know what time it is. But, so you're on the way to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let's say me and you both are driving, right? We're on our way. We leave together. We leave the same time. We're on the way out there. Our load delivers at a Toyo Tire at 6 a.m. Thursday morning. Well, me and you, we've been riding together. We're talking on the CB, and you're following right behind me. And we pull up at Menominee, Wisconsin, which is about 35 miles from Minnesota. We pull up at Love's, and he's like, hey, let's pull in here and get something to eat. And we pull in and get something to eat. We park. We take our break, a few-minute break. It's 5 o'clock. We ain't got to be there till 6 a.m. the next morning. So, we got 11 hours. So you say, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and take my 10 here. Okay. Go ahead and take your 10. I'm not. I've still got an hour and a half left on my clock. I'm going to go ahead and drive on over there. And you say, okay. Now, follow me on this now. I drive on over there and I park. I get in the dock. I already know what dock it is, and I go to bed. Next morning, you start your clock at 5 a.m. You roll up, you're there at 5:30. Did you do anything wrong? No, you made it there early, right? Okay, you're there on time. Dispatch is happy. You're happy, you made it on time. Well, they take 4 hours to unload, so they don't get us unloaded till 10 o'clock. Y'all follow me on this? They don't get us unloaded till 10 o'clock. When they get us unloaded, the dispatcher calls and says, hey, we got a load that picks up across the street for you. Okay, good. It don't pick up till 12. Okay. 12 o'clock comes around, I get up, do my pre-trip. I go over there, get loaded. You do too. We get loaded at the same time. We both take off at the same time. Neither one of us is late. But guess what? I started my time at 12 o'clock, which means now I'm going to get 600 miles today. You started at 5:30, so 14 hours later, 7:30. You cannot drive past 7:30. So now you're going to get 300 miles a day. We both was on time to our pickup, both on time to our delivery. But I got twice as many more miles than you. Why did I do that? Because I utilized my clock. I utilized my time. I knew I could park at the shipper, and I went that extra 30 miles that got me 300 miles the next day. Are y'all following me on this? Let me know in the comments if you are, because I'm trying to explain this to you. I'm trying to help you out. that it may not just be on the dispatcher. It could be on you and how we had the same runs, but my miles are better. Okay, now, we leave there together, right? Let's talk about a whole different another load. We're coming back from, I don't know, Fairfield, Ohio, Louisville, whatever. We get into Chattanooga right before we get to Dalton, Georgia, and we run out of hours for whatever reason. I don't know. We run out of hours. We've done our full clock. We pull into the rest area. It's about 6 o'clock at night. All right. I called my dispatcher at 3, and I asked him, "Hey, what do we got tomorrow?" And he says, "Oh, I don't have nothing. I don't know right now, but we'll have something here at the yard for you." Okay. Hey, you call the dispatcher, they tell you the same thing. So we take our 10. It's 6 o'clock at night. 4 o'clock in the morning gets up. You wake up, you say, "Hey, Sean, I did my 10 hours. I'm leaving." I say, "Well, I ain't going to go nowhere right now." You look at me all confused, like, "Why ain't you going anywhere?" And then you take off because you're trying to be a good driver and you did your 10 hours, right? Well, you get down to dispatch. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. You get down there at 4:30. Ain't nobody there. Ain't nobody there to give you anything until 6 in the morning. You get there at 6 o'clock. The dispatcher says, "Hey, yeah, we got you on a Fairfield load. It picks up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon." You're like, "Oh, crap. Started my clock." Now, me, I tried to call my dispatcher the day before. He said he had something, but he didn't tell me what. So I'm not moving. So 6 o'clock rolls around. I called and didn't dispatch. And they said, "Yeah, we got you on a Fairfield at 1 o'clock. All right, cool. I'm going back to bed then, son. I go back to bed, and I end up sleeping or even shut down for 15 hours. Now, on paper, I look bad because I took a 15-hour break. But guess what? I'm going to get 600 miles a day. You're only going to get 300 miles a day. You took a 10-hour break. I took a 15. You say, "Well, Sean, that don't make no sense." It's all about communicating. Communicating with your dispatcher. Now, if the dispatcher failed to give you that information, you didn't burn up your hours. So therefore, when you did get it, you were able to knock it on out. All this running around willy and burning our clocks up for no reason, you got to stop. And now that would force your dispatcher to let you know, "Hey, look, this is what I got next." Okay? And that's how you get the miles, is effective communication. By letting them know, okay, I'm not going to have any hours by the end of this week. I'm going to be running out. You say, "Well, Sean, they know my hours." Well, they should, but they get busy, and they may not see your hours. Let them know, this is what I have left. This is what I can do. Let's make this happen. And eventually you'll learn your runs, and you can start requesting certain runs. Hey, listen, I need to do this, 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 and this. It may not work out that way, but you're going to communicate. So I want everybody, especially at Rosedale Transport, to start communicating. It all starts with how you communicate. Okay? Don't have an attitude. Do not be fussy and bussy. "I need me a damn load." Blah, blah, blah. Don't talk like that. Be nice. Be nice, but be persistent. "I need a load. What's going on? What do you got?" "Okay, it's 5 o'clock. You got me something yet?" Okay, send a message in. Are you sending messages in too? You know, if you send a message in through Samsara, it's all documented and kept. I had a driver call me from another company, not our company, but another company. Said he was left somewhere, and he went in to deliver, and the power was out, and he called dispatch. He sent a message in saying, "Hey, power's out." They said, "Well, hold tight and we'll get you." So he goes to a truck stop. Next morning, he sends a message in. They said, "Hold tight, we're going to get with you." So what did he do? He held tight. 3 days later, he's still sitting there. By then, he's mad. He calls and they ask him, "Well, why haven't you called?" He said, "I did call." He said, "Well, the system showed that you went into the place, delivered, and came out. It picked up, there was an error. It picked up the geofence that he went and went out, and they thought he was just taking another break because of lack of communication." Now, yeah, he did send a message that told him hold tight, but listen, hungry mouths don't get fed. I ain't sitting nowhere 3 or 4 days without somebody knowing something. But he did send messages in, And because he's sending messages in, the company ended up paying them layover pay. Had he not sent messages in, they may have not have. So what you do on Samsara is recorded, so make sure you're sending the correct messages in. But the bottom line is that we're all out here to make money, and the company wants you to make money. So if you're not making the money that you need to make, you're not getting the miles you need to make, first look and see what you can do different, what you should be doing better. Are you a stocked up truck? Do you have everything you need? Are you using all your mile hours? Are you doing everything that you can do to get there? How's your health? Are you sleeping right? Are you constantly tired all the time? Are you making sure you're getting a full night's rest? Are you exercising? These are all things that practices into miles. You can say bad dispatcher, good dispatcher. It has a lot to do with it, but there's a lot of other things too. But if you have a bad dispatcher, or you think it's your dispatcher, then go above them and find out, hey, this is my mileage. What am I going to do different? I'm sure whatever company you're working with, they'll send you to a driver trainer. He can look at your miles. Safety can look at your hours of service. And we can look at holes and try to figure out ways to make you better. And that's what I want to do here at Rosedale Transport. If you're watching this channel and you're not getting your miles, call me. Am I going to go right after the dispatcher first? No. I'm going to look and see what I can do to benefit you and better you first. If that doesn't work, and if we find out it's your dispatcher, hey, maybe you need a new dispatcher. You know what I mean? Not all people click with dispatchers, but we have to find out what the root cause is. And the only way to do that, start asking questions. I appreciate you watching my channel. If you got any value from this, please hit the like button. If you work here at Rosedale Transport, let me know in the comments. If I can help you in any way, hey, just give me a call. You've got my email. God bless y'all, and I will see you next video in this Trucking Live with Sean. But before I end, I need to make sure I do a little prayer with y'all. You know, I do that every time I do a live. So if you're driving, please don't bow your heads. Please don't. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you in the name of Jesus. I ask you to touch all the drivers out there that are struggling with different things. I ask you to heal them. I ask you to touch them and be with them. Let them know that they're not alone. Let them know that you never leave them. You never forsake them. You be with them all the way to the end of the world. Go prepare their battles. Go in front of them to fight their battles for them. Prepare their way. The Bible says that the steps of a righteous man is ordered. Father, I ask you to order my steps as I go into work this morning. I ask you to order the other people's steps. I ask you to touch the leadership in the company I work for. I ask you to touch the drivers. I ask you to touch our country. I ask you to touch our president. I ask you to touch our future president. I ask you to just bless our country. And in your precious name we pray. Amen. If there's one of y'all out there that's lost and don't know Jesus, I ask you to ask him to your heart. He's an awesome God. He loves you. And all you got to do is ask him your heart. He'll change your life. Thank y'all for watching this Facebook Live. I'm also going to go ahead and post this over on YouTube. YouTube does not let me do live, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it over there as a recorded video. But if you want to support the channel or sponsor, please go to YouTube, check it out. Check out the links and follow the channel here and subscribe over there. It's Trucking Live with Sean, baby. Let's get it.